Do you like what you do for a living? These things you see?
You have to wear blinders sometimes. Most times.
Hi, welcome to my channel. This channel is going to be used to discuss films, comics, TV shows, or even books. You can either tweet at me or you can put them in the comment section. This is technically my first video, but I do have another channel that I make short films on. If you want to watch them, go. I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, so today I'm going to be reviewing Se7en, which is directed by David Fincher. It's a really good David Fincher film. I recommend watching it if you like Fight Club. After watching it, it's probably one of my favorite mystery thrillers. It follows two detectives, Mills and Somerset, which are played by Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. The movie shows their journey to stop a killer whose motives are unknown besides the killings are based off the 7 deadly sins. I wanted to watch this film because I already seen Fight Club and I wanted to watch another David Fincher / Pitt film. Since it came out in 1995, I came into the movie having no preconceived ideas about it. I didn't read any reviews or I didn't watch any trailers. I usually watch Strange Killers after I see the film because I like to see what other people were thinking or what they thought they were going into when they were going to see the film in 1995. 1995 was a really good year for films, and in my opinion, it was one of the best out that year. I haven't watched a lot of films from 1995, but from what I can see, this is already going to make the list. There's a great balance between the flow of the plot as well as action, which is something I think many movies fails to nail. Another director I think that can find this equilibrium really well is Christopher Nolan. If you've ever seen the Dark Knight trilogy or watched Memento, which is another good movie that reminded me of Se7en, I definitely recommend watching it. Although some scenes can be seen as dull, after finishing the movie I can see why they're included in the editing room because they really help move the plot along. I think the reason that almost all the scenes have this balance is because the acting between Freeman's and Brad Pitt's characters. Both actors were no stranger to acting in thrillers or really good roles, with Freeman acting in The Shawshank Redemption and Pitt just acting in a bunch of other stuff. But I think this role really pushed his career and gave him a really good reputation with Fincher and why he was used in Fight Club 4 years later. Next part I want to discuss is the contrast. There are various examples of contrast in this film, and I think the contrast between the characters Mills and Somerset, with opposition in age, morals, and ideas, seeing them work together in this film is what made it comedic yet solemn. Another contrasting factor that I've seen in this film was even in their personal lives, with Somerset being more laid back and reserved, and Brad Pitt being more extroverted and very spoke his opinions and made sure that everyone knew it. I really liked that. Also, the fact I really enjoyed the scene where it was showing the first scene where it showed Somerset getting ready for the morning. It really showed how alone he really was, because the whole time I was wondering where are his family members? Why doesn't usually that age range? Most people are married or have grandkids or whatever, and I even looked for pictures on in his apartment, but I couldn't find anything. And the scene where Pitt was ready for the morning with his wife Tracy, which I'll discuss later. I thought that was really interesting because if you look back on both scenes, there's a contrast between the light and the darkness of each apartment, and I think that really helped with characterization in each role. Now going back to Mill's wife Tracy, which was played by Gwyneth Paltrow, I thought her role was kind of small, and I thought it was a breath of fresh air for the film. It was a really male-dominated film. I can't recall any major speaking done by women. That's why I think the dialogue between the detectives were important. Along with dialogue, cinematography was a factor making the environment tense with a variation of tight and wide shots. Another example of contrast with this movie, there's a contrast in color grading. There is a wide variety of blues and browns clashing together, and the perpetual rainy weather made you feel gloomy while watching. This is something I think Darius Kalanji was looking for, and the action scene when Mills was chasing John Doe was probably my favorite. I love the way that he was introduced holding that grocery bag full of stuff, and he just pulls out his gun. That was probably like the most anxious I've ever been watching a movie. Like, I actually like jumped back when along with his attire, I thought that was really cool too. The attire with that dark hat and you really couldn't see his face, I thought was really good. And that scene was really desperately needed for the film because it was a new rising action. I was kind of getting tired of seeing the same thing, but that really introduced the character and I really liked it. Even the room, even John Doe's bedroom was really cool, and especially the scene where Mills was looking at the photograph and then he realizes that the photographer in the stairs and before was actually the killer this whole time, with the red lights hitting him, and I'll show this shot. Back to the acting scene, the cinematography was again top notch. They had really good stair shots, and I liked the scene because both times when you saw the killer shooting, it was like really good angles, and it really made me nervous. I jumped back a couple times. So now I'm going to discuss each killing in the journals. So I thought the journals were really cool, especially the intro. I probably should have talked about this earlier, but I thought the introduction to the film was really good when you were listening to that, I think it was 9 Inch Nails by a band in the 90s, I forget what they're called, but it was a really good introduction, especially how they showed the razor on his thumb. That was really creepy to me. I think Fincher does a really good job at that. If you've seen the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I also like that introduction. That's another introduction I like. I think whoever does the introductions for Fincher does a really good job at those. The next part is a spoiler, so if you don't want to be spoiled or if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't listen to this part. You can just skip to the next part. Okay, so what I was not expecting was Kevin Spacey as John Doe. Like, when you first see his face, it was insane. I barely recognized him because of the bald hair, and I don't think I've ever seen him that thin. If you've seen House of Cards, I just finished House of Cards recently, and then seeing that Kevin Spacey from this Kevin Spacey was really cool. He did absolutely fantastic in the role. He left me hanging on every line, and he did the best. I think with the limitation of his script, I think he did the best. An important scene looking back on it now is the infamous detective scene.
Detective?
After this, I'm gone.
Detective? No big surprise.
Detective! You're looking for me.
Hey! What's your fucking move? On the fucking floor. Keep away from him! On the fucking floor!
I know you.
Now! Get out! Get down! On your stomach, you piece of shit! Now! All the way! All the way, fucker! Down! Faster! Faster! Faster, fucker! Now! Those on the ground!
Jesus Christ. What the fuck is this?
I'd like to speak to my lawyer, please.
God damn it.
After rewatching it, seeing the blood on Jonathan's shirt and realizing that it's actually the blood from Mill's dead wife was terrifying because they were so busy like focusing that was John Doe, and just that scene, like the whole detective part, I think it was missed and overlooked slightly, but I think that was really good storytelling looking back on it. At first I was wondering like why Trishi would let someone in her house, but then I reflected back to the scene where she was talking to Somerset on how lonely she was in that town, and I really felt bad for her the entire movie after like watching that, because she was pregnant, she was all alone, she really didn't have any friends, And the fact that she had to go to her husband's detective partner to look for advice was actually super sad. I really felt how like I felt compassion towards her expedition. In the last minutes, I was still searching for a motive or anything humane in Spacey's character. The car scene was really cool. I like how this Kahanji again used the camera to show the gridlock back seat. It really made you feel tense, nervous, and I think that the lighting in the scene was the lightest it's ever been. And I think that's also another contrasting part. This whole time it's been dark and rainy, and now you're in this big desert, and I think that's the first time it doesn't rain in the entire film. You're just in this desert and you're just wondering why it's happening, what is happening. I was worried at first. I thought that John Doe was going to end up killing all of them, but that would be 8 deaths and I couldn't be right. But as soon as I seen that truck, at first I thought the truck was going to run straight towards them and hit them all. But then when I seen the package come out and when Somerset talks about the blood, I finally understood that I had to be the head of Mill's wife, because there's nothing else Doe could have used against him besides his wife and his dogs maybe, but that doesn't count. So in the last scene, what I want to talk about is the development of the relationship with Mills and Somerset. Even in the second to last scene, where they're in the like isolated area, you can see that Somerset was trying to persuade him into not doing it because he knew he was going to regret it eventually. And I think that was very like a pivotal point for their relationship, because this whole time Somerset was leaving and Mills was coming in, and he really didn't want to be in this case, but something about Mills made him continue to work. And the scene where he's in the car and Somerset says something along the lines of get him whatever he needs or whatever he wants. I don't think that's going to be Somerset's last mission, because I don't think anyone would be able to leave their detectivcy on that note. And I think that period is the darkest it's ever been, and I think that also shows how Mills has like lost a part of him with that scene. But thanks for watching this video. Hopefully this will be the first of many, and if you enjoyed this, like or subscribe, or not if you don't want to. It's up to you. But yeah, if you did like it, or if you do subscribe, if you could just leave a recommendation of what I should do next. I think I'm gonna do a Mr. Robot series next, because that's a really good show, and I really want to discuss the latest episode. But yeah, I have a few recommendations to watch if you've already seen this or are planning to see this and you want to watch something else. Zodiac's another David Fincher movie. It's Jake Gyllenhaal's in it, and he does a really good job. It's another kind of mystery thriller. But yeah, that's a good one, and Memento, like I said before. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah.